Thank you all for attending here in person and virtually. If you'd like to make a public comment, on the counter back there are pieces of paper to fill out, and you may bring them up to our secretary, Sarah. At this time, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. And now I will turn the roll call over to Sarah.
Ms. Hamilton, Mr. Gray,
Here.
Ms. Williams, Ms. Sharp, Mr. Dobies, Mr. Reddy,
Here.
Ms. Acton.
Here. Item number 4, approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Any deliberation? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Item number 5, superintendent's report, and I'm going to turn this over to you.
Yes.
Superintendent Patterson.
Yes, thank you, President Acton. Board of Education, welcome to our July meeting. It's been a fantastic July. I think this is our month where we're really on vacation and getting refreshed. And so it's good to see everyone back for our board meeting as we prepare to kick off the upcoming school year. There's been a lot of activities today. We just had a kind of an opening day gathering so we can get input from all bargaining groups about what they would like to see, not only in opening day professional development, but throughout the course of the year. So tonight, we're excited to have a wonderful group of folks here with us. So I'll call Kelly Crum and the group together. This is a role that I used to serve when I was assistant superintendent, and I'm just ecstatic about Kelly's leadership as we've kind of done some restructuring. As a former health educator, I see a lot of folks here who served on this task force and this committee, and I'm proud of the work that we've accomplished in the district and the update that you will hear today. So without further ado, Mrs. Crum.
All right. So at this time, if I can have my friends and colleagues come up to the podium. And I'll start. So good evening. Hope you all are having a good summer over there. So as Jeremy said, he dropped this in my lap and I eagerly took it because again, as he said, I was a health educator with Jackson Public Schools way back early 90s and beginning of 2000. So this curriculum, teaching sex ed, is very important to me that our students get the right information. So I'm going to provide you high-level overview of our sex education program at JPS for grades 4 through 12. I believe the last time the board received an update was in 2017. So we're a little bit behind, but I'm going to bring you up to speed. So in front of you, Sarah had provided you a comprehensive handout of the local MIFI. MIFI stands for Michigan Profile for Healthy Youth. And the data kind of speaks to what is happening at Jackson Public Schools. You've also been provided a link that you can get to in Jackson Public Schools webpage. Lois did an outstanding job kind of restructuring how families, parents, students can access and how to find our sexual health and HIV education. So if you haven't seen it, please go. On the website, it'll say kindergarten through 12th grade for public review, but we don't start our sex health until 4th through 12th. So one thing that I'm about is being transparent. I think as a district, we do a good job with that, and I want to make sure that our families have everything they need as we educate our students. So we have a sex ed advisory board that I oversee, and then I have 2 co-chairs, which is Allison Reeser and Nicoya Davis, who co-chairs that with me. We have met 3 times over this last school year and making sure that we are in compliance, number 1, with the Michigan law. We have input from parents, and students. We review the data. So it's highly collaborative. We have community partners, JPS staff, there are parents and local clergy that serve on the Sex Ed Advisory Board, as well as Marilyn. Our president is on that board as well. So at that time, we review, again, material, strict open door policy. If families want to know what is being taught, all they have to do is give me a phone call. The principals know that as well. So if they have questions, they can contact me or their direct. And I have had parents that have contacted me. Entirely, that children can opt out. Parents can opt out their children at any time, even if they check the box and say we want to opt out K through 12, and then they decide in 7th grade that they want to opt in. Easy process. We will make sure that happens. So we were using a curriculum back in the day called Puberty the Wonder Years. We would have the health department kind of come in and do some things, but I thought it was very important with Superintendent Patterson and Deputy Julie Baker to invest in the curriculum. We need to update our curriculum when it came 4 through 6. So we spent $16,176 to purchase Puberty the Wonder Years curriculum. And we thought it was important that our teachers teach because they have the relationships with the students. The students trust the teachers, so we had our teachers trained back in October. I participated in that training because I wanted to make sure that if they had questions, that I could answer them as well. So I went through the training. It was good, and it was online. So then in our middle school, we needed to do a HIV/AIDS training for our middle school science teachers so that we can be updated there. And that was over Michigan model that we use for our middle school and high school. And so Eric Swihard, who is our district partner with the ISD, he facilitated that training. And so we work closely with Eric to make sure that we are in compliance. And so I'm gonna talk about the MyFi survey because that brings me to understand why the curriculum is important that we teach. So survey is given to our 7th, 9th, and 11th graders, and this is just kind of a snapshot of what is happening here at Jackson Public Schools with our students. So from our abstinence-based curriculum, risk avoidance messaging is working. It is working. We saw a sharp drop in our middle school activity with our 7th graders, reporting ever having sexual intercourse dropping from 9.1% down to 3.3%. So we know that our prevention efforts are making an impact. So I'm very grateful for that. When we get to our high school level, it is a little bit different. We are seeing a significant decline in use of protection. So our condom usage has dropped from 68% to 46%. And so what that means is that kids are at a greater risk for pregnancy or sexually transmitted infections. And so as I look at the data, we can still hone in on having those conversations with our students. And so even though we've seen a dip in that area, we also see that there are some academic disparities among our transgender youth who identify as transgender, where we see that our high school population is saying that our students who are transgender that are receiving unsatisfactory grades, D's and F's, are because of some emotional and social emotional hurdles that they're facing. So that could be from bullying, is one of the things. And so as we look at those barriers, we're going to put our attention into making sure that our students feel supportive. So, at Jackson Public Schools, we are definitely inclusive. Our curriculum is all about being sure that it's medically accurate because there's medical providers that are part of the curriculum process. And so we know when students feel safe at school, their academic performance is going to tell us that. And so as I think about sex education, it's not just about, the biology. It is about critical risk reduction. It's about supporting our students at all times. And when they're making high-risk choices, we make sure that they have the decision-making tools in order to protect their health and their futures. Superintendent Patterson, Deputy Superintendent Julie Baker, and I will share the MyFi data with our principals to ensure that all students are feeling safe, talk about some improvements that we can do, and put some corrective measures in place to support our students. But I'm proud to be working with these folks that are sitting in front of me over here, in front of you, but to my left, because these folks here have been trained through Michigan Model, Puberty the Wonder Years. They're with our students every day. You'll hear from Allison Spencer from the health department that's been with Jackson Public Schools for quite some time. Allison and I go way back, but I thought it was important that they share their experience with teaching the curriculum and what the students have said too, and the parents. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over. I think I have Jessica Nickel. She can kind of talk about her role and what she does. And then you're going to hear from Tanya, Kendra, Shanier Trice, and then not last but least, Allison Spencer. And then we'll answer any questions that you have after they get done talking. All right? So I'll turn over to Jessica. Just push that little icon, that little person. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me? Jessica Nicola, I'm the school counselor over at Dibble Elementary, and I provided the Wonder Years education for our 4th and 5th grade classrooms, so 2 classrooms per grade level. I admittedly was very nervous. This was my first experience in providing any type of puberty education or instruction. Had a ton of support from Kelly Crum, from Tanya, from the team, and I was just so wonderfully surprised how well the lessons went this year. Our students were really excited about these lessons. We had just the time of year, April, when I did my lessons, we had to kind of switch because of half days and things. So I had students approaching me asking when lessons were going to happen because we had to switch days. They were engaged. They were really respectful, not just of the material, but of one another, which was just wonderful to see. And they really came to those lessons with a genuine curiosity that was just so great. Students had the opportunity to ask questions during the lessons, and they did ask super thoughtful questions. We have a message box or a question box, so if they didn't feel comfortable, they could submit a question sort of anonymously, and so those questions were also really good. So overall, it was just a fabulous experience. We sent an advisory out to parents a couple of weeks in advance, just more than 2 weeks in advance. I also had our teachers post it to their classroom communication tool, Class Dojo or whatever it might be, and then I also sent out a Blackboard message about a week ahead of time, just to kind of make sure that we covered all of our bases. That letter went home with an advisory on the opt-out process, as well as kind of an outline of what the lessons would cover. I did have parents call me. I had a parent come in, and we reviewed individual lessons, like all of the slides, so that they could see exactly what was being provided. I even had a parent participate in a lesson. She happened to be sitting in with her son and got the full lesson as well. So we just had an overall really great experience. We didn't have any parents reach out to us or anyone else with concerns. But I was really happy. And I had told Kelly at one point, I have a son who's going to be entering the 4th grade, and I even feel more prepared as a parent now. I have additional tools and resources that I can use to talk to my son at home, and preparing them to just normalize these discussions as we learn about our bodies and development. So overall, it's just a super positive experience. I'm very thankful to have had it this year.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm the social worker at the Montessori Center. Coach Tanner and I were actually able to do this together, which I think helped me, just having a male, but also just another adult in the room, because it can get squirrely at times when we're talking about uncomfortable things. But we were able to teach 4th, 5th, and 6th grade this year. In total, 54 students received this. When you have 180 some, that's, is a good chunk of students that receive this curriculum. Each grade had one student opt out. Just naturally, the parents chose that. And then later on, we had 2 students opt out. Parents just didn't understand. We went over that, then they opted out. So we were able to get that clarity for them. My main takeaways were, after we were done, I talked at our staff meeting with staff, was tell me I'm in it. I was super excited when Kelly asked me to do this. I was excited. I was probably weirdly excited about it because I think it's super important that our youth are educated. And teachers commented that our first lesson, our first week of it, we talk about confidentiality and how, what we talk about stays in here. And I was honestly surprised. I'm in an elementary school. They literally tell us everything. Like, we know what everyone did last weekend, and that's what we do. No one talked about it after we left puberty. And if they did, their friends then held them accountable. Like, we don't talk about this right here. We don't. And I had teachers that were like genuinely shocked about this. And then we also noticed that we had so many kids after we got over, like, oh, we're going to use the real terms, and like the seriousness and like the aha moments were like, it was just rewarding to watch them, like to understand what was going on in their bodies that they didn't really know, but now they can like name it and label it. And then also we were able to have tough conversations about peer situations, the implications of puberty, what happens, what does it look like? And us adults would consider it like whole child verbiage, but like that's what they were doing. They were able to sort how, like, if I eat a Monster and Cheetos, how is that going to impact all these other aspects of my life while also having balance? And so it was much more than just learning about puberty. It was much more learning about like how it affects emotional health, mental health, our peer interactions, all of those. Overall, I loved it. I know my kids did. Coach Tanner and I, we were like, we could do this all the time. Like, this is fun. But ultimately, you have those tough kids who are like, I don't cry, but then they're talking and they're like those moments when you're like, there we are. And I just like, I have kids who are getting in that age. And again, I also just feel so much more ready to have those conversations. So yes, I'm excited.
Thank you. Shanier?
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Shanier Trice. I'm the PE and health teacher here at Jackson High School and a graduate of Jackson High School in 1993. One of the things I did when I came back to Jackson High School was I wanted to give back, and I feel like being in sex education is a way to give back to the community. And in doing so, I'm helping to educate our young kids. We talk about the relationships that we have with the kids. And often when you have relationship with kids, you're able to gain more understanding and get information that you didn't think you could get to better the situation. We currently use the Michigan model, and I also use the Glencoe health book. And through those ways, there's ways of breaking it down for students in layman terms, so it's better understanding. We go through different scenarios. We ask questions. We have a free and welcoming environment in our classroom where we can discuss things at a level where there's often horseplay at the level at the high school. However, we tend to keep it under control and use terms at which are used in real life. Okay. We also have young students that are on the board. I have a young baseball player who's actually on the advisory board, Mr. Eric Lopez. We use him as a way to allow students to speak freely, to help out in regards to the board, where they can speak freely to the board, where if we have questions, they can be of help to do so. But other than that, I really enjoy what I do in regards to giving back. I'm very grateful that I'm here at Jackson High and thankful.
My name is Allison Spencer, and I serve as the Health Education Coordinator at the Jackson County Health Department. I first want to just thank Jackson Public Schools for your continued partnership. I've been with the department for 27 years, and I feel like I can't remember a time that we haven't collaborated or partnered with JPS, so we're really appreciative of that partnership. And we have 2 grant-funded programs that we are able to help support JPS students, staff, and families. And I'm not in the classroom as much as I'd like to be or used to be, but I was still grateful to have the opportunity this past school year to help teach some of the lessons, especially for the early morning lessons at Parkside. And so it was really fun to still get to be able to be with the students and the teachers and see what impact our programming is making. At the elementary and middle school level, we provide the Empowering Youth Today program, and this is more of that abstinence-based or sexual risk avoidance education. It formerly used to be known as the Jackson County Abstinence Partnership years and years ago. And with this particular program, we utilize the Real Essentials curriculum, which helps students to build important life skills. It focuses heavily on social emotional learning. We focus a lot of topics on healthy relationships, healthy friendships, communication, decision-making, and then we end it with the little section of puberty science, so it is helping to still reinforce what the students are learning through puberty, the wonder years. And then we were excited this past year to also be able to teach that to all the 7th graders at Parkside within their science classroom, and so just a really great opportunity to be with them. I do remember it was fun at Parkside. We were able, on the puberty science section, and it was their day that parents were able to come and observe their students around the school. And so it was fun that I was excited it was the day for puberty. And I noticed, a kiddo was kind of uncomfortable with the topic, and his dad kind of nudged him and said, hey, you need to, pay attention. This is important. I had to learn about it when I was your age. So I just thought that was great that the parents got to see that as well. We are very open with parents. We want parents to be part of this education, so we always provide families with parent letters explaining about our programming, what to expect, what the lessons will cover. We also send home opt-out forms, so any family that does not want their child to participate definitely has that opportunity to decide that. We also send home weekly newsletters with the students, highlighting the lessons that we talked about for that week, kind of previewing of what's coming up the next week. And then this past year, we also incorporated QR codes into these newsletters. And so we want to get parents' feedback. We're asking them what kind of, are you talking with your kiddo at home about what you just learned? And so we're just always trying to find new ways that we can connect with parents. And then at the high school level, we're also excited. We've been doing this for years as well. And I think Tanya was actually even trained in this particular curriculum. We use the Teen Outreach Program. And we have been currently utilizing that with Allison Reeser as part of her advanced health class. It's a very time-intensive program, but that focuses more on that sexual risk reduction education or that comprehensive pregnancy prevention programming. One of my favorite parts about that program as well is that there's a huge component of community service learning, so students are exposed to different ways that they can help in their community and make those connections. And so we're just, like I said, really grateful at the health department to be able to support your students and staff and families, and we are very thankful for that, and we look forward to continuing to be able to be that partner with you guys.
Thank you all. As you were sitting there, I was thinking about we have one other great asset at Jackson Public Schools, and it's our school-based health centers that we have there. So our students are able to access them. Our high school students can go in and get real world wellness, right, with education as well. So that's just another asset that I wanted to make sure that I mention as we talk about sexual health. Thank you all. Any questions that you have from the board that we can answer?
How often do we update the curriculum?
Which one?
The Wonder Years, and then I think the other one, that's the Michigan model, maybe is not able to update or something.
So Michigan model has been.
Is that the one online that you showed me?
Yep, that has been
That's-
updated, and the Puberty Wonder Years is this is 2024 is the
20
newest, and we have the newest curriculum for both.
Okay, and then when we get it updated, do you show the board when it's updated?
We can, yes.
Okay.
I don't know what happened before that, since
Yeah.
the last time it was 2017 was when you guys get information.
Right.
So as we go forward, if there's new curriculums that we have, absolutely, we will make sure that we come to the board and that the school, that the sex advisory board reviews them as well. So as we go forward, yes,
Okay, thank you.
absolutely, you're welcome. Any other questions? All right.
Job well done. Yes, let's give them a hand, please. Thank you for your continued partnership. Everything that you do each and every day just makes a better Jackson Public Schools. I just lifted up a couple things the collaboration, like a lot of our folks don't go to college to learn these things. And so having partners within our community that can come alongside of us and provide support is critical. Eric Lopez was a student that helped me a couple of years ago, and he would recruit other kids and said, we need their voice here. And so that was very helpful in just their level of maturity and how they just came alongside of us. So we felt like we were serving our students appropriately because the kids were telling us so. And I think they lifted it up in the conversation at Jackson Public Schools. It's not just about English, math, science, and social studies. It's truly the whole child. And I think that's very important. And I think those are the reasons why, Mr. Trice spoke about wanting to come back to Jackson Public Schools. And then one final piece, and I'll stop, is that part as a parent, like our families at home should be having these conversations, right? And how do we, there's a lot of communication, a lot of feedback back and forth between home and school. And I think that's the ultimate partnership. And so thanks again, Mrs. Crown, for your leadership here. And that is going to conclude the superintendent's report for July.
Thank you, Superintendent Patterson. Number 6, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Support.
Any deliberation? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. At this time, do we have any citizens addressing the board? Okay. So, hearing none, we will move on to agenda item number 8.
Yes, for the superintendent's mid-year report, this is something that's required of the superintendent. And so it is my request that we go into closed session for this discussion of the superintendent's mid-year report.
So I move that the board enter into closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Michigan Open Meetings Act at the request of the superintendent to consider the superintendent's mid-year performance evaluation. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oh, excuse me, I think we need a roll call on that, sorry. We're taking a roll call.
I think everybody said aye. But
Did they say aye?
Yeah,
Okay.
everybody say aye.
I'm just trying to cross my T's and
Yes.
dot my I's. Okay, great, thank you. The next item is number 9, action item. So do I have a motion to extend Superintendent Patterson's contract for 1 year for the 28-29 school year?
Support.
Any deliberation? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Our next item is 10, board comments.
Hi guys. Ooh, that's really loud. Anyways, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Please bear with me. It's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna do it. It'll be fun.
Welcome, Tyshawn. Great to have you here. And to Superintendent Patterson, congrats on another year. Hopefully it's a lifetime here as a Viking. And that's all I have.
Well, Tyson, welcome. First time I met you. I know I wasn't here when you got selected. But welcome. I heard a lot of great things. Again, yeah, congratulations, Mr. Patterson. We're excited to work with you. And I would like to thank all the board members to be present here every month. It's not easy, to make it. But I just want to add one more thing. As a parent, I would like to encourage all the parents to make use of this beautiful Michigan weather. Spend a lot of time with your kids because life is too short. It makes a hell of a difference. So other than that, thank you.
I just want to thank you for everyone that's listening and that came out tonight. And I'm excited that Superintendent Patterson he's at the helm of our ship and he's keeping us on course. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you. And now for the calendar. August 18th, 2026, regular meeting, JHS Media Center at 6. And now this is back to the third Tuesday of the month. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.